All right. So what I'm doing is going through the final for this particular course. This is the final project, and this project is going to be rather large. You can see that the groups are approximately 5 students, and the assignment is right here. So the assignment is database security, compliance, and implementation. And then in this group, you're going to work as a team. You're going to create a secure database that implements NIST special publication 853 controls. And I have those controls below. And then you're going to do a number of project management tasks as well. You're going to do earned value management. You're going to do risk management. You're going to do project management. And you're going to have a project management plan. And there's going to be a number of deliverables that you are going to provide. You're going to select someone that's going to be a program manager. So everyone's going to have roles that they do within the group. And that will be something that you do. And then you're also going to develop a MySQL database using MySQL Workbench with a minimum of 7 tables and 1,000 entries. Now, with these tables and entries, these don't have to be something that you just create yourself. You can pull this from a open access database, import items in to create your database, right? It does not have to be something that is extremely difficult. You can use data.gov, and you can use other resources that I can provide you that will help you create the database rather quick. The important part isn't the data, but how you protect it and how you implement these security controls. So these are controls right here: AC2, account management; AC5, account separation duties; AC8, system use notification; AC7, unsuccessful login attempts; AT4, security training records; AU8, timestamps; and CA5, which is a plan of action and milestones. So you have all this. You also need to create test documents for every single thing. Data encryption, so you'll design and implement a system to encrypt data at rest and transit within the database. You'll describe the encryption mechanisms used and explain their effectiveness. You'll create a project management plan. This is part of task 3, the project management components. You'll create a project management plan that outlines the scope, objective, schedule, and the roles of the database implementation project. I'll provide you a template. You'll fill it out. And then you'll have a product schedule, and you'll develop a product schedule that includes key milestones and tasks for the database implementation project. And then you incorporate the concepts of the earned value management system plan reporting. You have a group presentation. And with this presentation, you'll communicate the implementation strategies, rationale, and outcomes. And then you will document the submission. And then here's the rubric right here. So here's the rubric, has the criteria. So the rubric's right here. What you'll need to do, you'll go to group project, and here you'll see all the different items that you need. Here's the assignment guidance. You click on guidance, it will bring this up. So this will be the guidance for the project. I'll talk about what to do. This will provide links to, now don't worry about the percentages, but just look at this. It provides links to the actual control. Let's go to the control. Okay, we'll let that load, but AC2. All right, so you have the entire control family, AC. And here's AC2. And this is the control that you'll need to implement into your database. And you'll do the same thing for all of these. Earned value analysis, you'll create earned value analysis. Here's just a link to show what it is. This is the Project Management Institute. You'll create a risk management log plan, a project management plan. Here's an example right here. And here's an overview of the project management plan that you'll have. So what you'll do now, you will go into the discussion board where it says group, and you'll go ahead and start creating your groups of 5. So let's go ahead and start creating your groups of 5. So take about 10 minutes, create your groups of 5, and then we're going to get set up in terms of getting at least your project management plan set up, downloading the software. So 10 minutes. All right, you're going to share yours, right? Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and you have the ability to share your screen.
Just letting you know right now that the school is currently working out a licensing issues on using the online version of Excel.
You know, you can use Libre or WPS.
Yeah, I have it in my other file. It's OneDrive, so
Gotcha. Okay, so this is a risk management log. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have at least 10 risk on here, right? So what we're going to do first, we're going to think about risk. And if you look at the top, it shows like status of a risk. It says it's open. It says it's high impact. When you click in the cell, you can actually see high, medium, low. So click in there. Yeah. And why does that show? Yeah, winner. That's weird. It should show. Okay, it's because maybe you have it open here. Right click. Yeah, because you don't, the macro doesn't show here, but it should be a macro that lets you do high, medium, low. So we can worry about that later. We can go back in that later when you can download it offline and do it or use Libre. So we won't worry about that. But generally what happens, you choose a status, open or close. You choose the impact, low, medium, or high. What's the impact to the risk to the project? And then the probability of occurrence means, is it high, medium, low, right? So is it a low probability will occur? Is it medium? And these change over time, right? These change over time. It could be high, and then you can say, I'm going to put together a strategy that's going to lower the risk. So maybe the next week is lower. So if you look at this one, it says in the risk map, it creates that based off the impact and probability of occurrence. So you look at risk description. This is an example I put in, right? Current project skill set may not be adequate to complete all project work. The current development team has been working in a Windows 2K environment, and the current requirements are for a Linux environment. The project schedule will require 1,500 development hours of a skilled Linux operator and approximately 1,900 to 2,200 if we retrain our current resources. That's the risk. Now, the project impact is if skills are not identified or obtained, project schedule may slip and possibly restrict the accomplishment of project goals, right? Now you look at the risk area. So it's not going to show here, but you have different areas that the risk can occur. Resources, budget, schedule, costs, all that can be in the risk area. Then you have symptoms. Like, what is a symptom, right? So the schedule approaches and the required start date with no identification skill sets. This is a symptom, right? You're working on the project, you're getting close to your start. It's like, oh, we don't have our Linux skill set. That's a symptom. Something, it's going to happen. And then you have a trigger. The trigger basically says when should you think about or when something will occur. So 4 weeks prior to scheduled start date, if no resources identified with the required skill set, implement contingency plan. So when you're 4 weeks out to starting the task, and if you don't have anybody identified to do that work, then there's a trigger in place that says, hey, you need to go find somebody immediately. All right, you have 4 weeks. You have to find somebody. And then there's different response strategies. That was a mitigation. And again, that would be a macro if you could show it. And then the strategy is find internal resource that meets the required skill sets or train existing resources on Linux. So I put that in there because there's actually different courses. There's like a 3-week course to get someone from knowing nothing about Linux to Red Hat certified engineer. I've done it before, right? With Red Hat. So like, okay, that's a response strategy. And then a contingency plan is to If that doesn't work, find someone externally through a organization, a consultancy, to hire them to do the work. But I put that last because generally when you get an external resources temporarily, it's expensive, really expensive. And so what you need to do now is go to risk description and list out 10 risks that you guys are going to have for this project. Yeah, so think about it, right? So what are some of the risks? How many of you guys have caught COVID already? Have you caught COVID?
Ever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. All right. These two in your group, right? In your group? You guys caught COVID? Were you guys like knocked out? Were you able to work?
I was okay, but I knew people were not.
Okay.
That's severe.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, but that's a risk, right? COVID's not gone away.
Wasn't there much of it?
Huh? So someone could get sick, right? So you had COVID or other ailment that could cause you to be out for a couple of days. And with a project this short, that is detrimental. That could be big. So that's one risk. So let's think about another risk. Another risk is, do you have the adequate skills to do this project?
I think so. I would hope so. But
Let's be realistic, right? Who's this SQL expert?
I'm expert on it.
Okay.
All are beginners.
Huh?
All are beginners.
Oh, yeah, you better, that's a risk because you have to implement these controls in. So, you may be lacking the expertise in SQL, in MySQL to implement some of these controls. Right? So that's a risk.
Creating a global.
Right. So you got to figure out, when is this project due? So let's look at the submission date, because that is going to let you know, that's going to help us out for the next task for the project plan. Well, yeah, it won't be there. It'll be an actual project submission. So go back to assignments. Go up, go. And then, oh, okay. Yeah, go down. Go down. Keep going. And keep going. And yeah, that one. Yep. So that is when everything needs to be done.
Missing due date seems too simple, but maybe like, plan properly, so we miss the due date.
Yeah. So it's tight. This is going to be a lot of stuff. It's going to have a tight schedule. So possible schedule select. So what this means is that you'll put schedules, possible tight schedule, strange schedule, and then later you got to talk about your response. Of what you'll do is basically you'll have to overlap tasks. So a lot of times in traditional project management, well, in project management, you can say, all right, I'm going to do task A, B, and C in parallel. And you'll have to do that in order to make this work.
But if like one of our computers breaks or something.
Yeah, loss of
So, one
files.
of the members doesn't have any latest version of this.
No, not that. But the problem could be maybe integration issues. Because I'm sure that some people will use Windows on this. So integration issues. So you'll have integration issues.
Integration as far as like,
It's different files. So people will be working on different parts of the database, and you'll need to have that in one actual database.
okay. Funding is not really an issue.
No, but you guys will have to baseline everything. So you have the baseline costs. So when you do the product schedule and we go to earn value management, you'll have to baseline your costs.
Right.
So that could be an issue over budget.
Over budget.
Mhm.
It'd be like disagreement on how to proceed, stall the project or something.
Let me think.
I'm trying to think for this specific one. Maybe it's not applicable, but generally. Storage, you add a storage or something.
I think storage.
Professor, I have a little question.
You could have issues that come up within different phases. So it could be issues that come up in the test phase that require you to go back. So I'm looking here. Improper implementation of security controls. Or failure, improper implementation of the security controls. Failure during test phase.
Well, I feel like if you can't implement the security control, doesn't that kind of cover under like lack of expertise to implement controls?
Well, whoever's going to implement them, you will need somebody probably to test, right? So generally what happens when you implement, you do a test internally, and then a third party will come and actually test. That's what happens. And so you could have something working, but you don't know how, I mean, if you were really good with the third party, you can say, all right, here's the test plan, here's the controls, what we did a test, but they may have their own way to test the control and they may fail you. So could be failure of test controls, failing test controls, failing your controls, sorry.
So should we start getting more specific about like the different, the implementation of specific controls maybe, so like
I mean, you could, yes,
failure to implement separation of duties, failure to that kind of stuff.
yes.
Professor, I have a small question.
Okay, cool. Take it from- But I think they're different. I mean, yeah, the impact would be the same, but the risks are different, right? Is that okay? We have two risks that are different, but the impact is the same.
Let's see. Well, failure to complete plan action milestones. I don't know if that's okay. You could put that in there, but you could also in the real world you can add or remove risk. So we'll leave that in there for now.
Well,
And now you need to think about what's the impact to these particular risks. So now we do impact.
yeah, we started with a couple of these. We
Mhm.
got to this one, and we figured that it would probably be the same answer for this one. So,
Yeah, what you got to do is be very specific to that one, right? Be very specific. What will happen? A lot of organizations want to know the risk, and so you want to have risk, and you want to be very specific to the risk. But if they see that you're just throwing, like, if an organization sees that you're just throwing risk out there, they'll think that you're BSing. They're like, oh, this guy's BSing me. Like, he's just throwing risk out there. So you want to be very specific. Like, what does this risk actually impact? Right? What is the pull impact? Generally, a plan action milestones. This is needed if you have issues with all the controls. Say you need to implement controls, and there's like one you can't implement yet. The plan action and milestones should tell the customer, your customer, that hey, you will implement this. It may take a few months, but you're doing this in the meantime, and this is my plan and actions, and these are the milestones to meet that I will do that. So that's what that is.
we just when things have to be done by, that would be for us if we don't communicate effectively, so that we don't know what things are done by. Well, that's sort of like cost, right? There's a time, like, there's money. Well, okay, if we talked about before, like completing the project under budget, I mean, that's a great for like a mock one.
It depends, right? So there's different types of contracts, and I'll explain that in the future. But so there's different types of contract vehicles, right? So some are what they call cost plus fixed fee, which means you get a fee for every hour you work, or every hour you work, right? So it's cost plus. So you get a fixed fee. So there's no incentive for finishing early. The only incentive contract you get for doing something early is called fixed fee firm fixed fee contract, right? So that means that you say, I'm going to do this work for $500,000. You get it done for 100,000, you just keep the rest. However, if you, that same contract, if it takes you $1 million, your organization has to pay that 500,000 difference. Yeah, firm fixed fee, that's what it is. Yeah, so it depends on the contract vehicle. There's time and material. Time and material doesn't matter because there's generally a flat fee as well. But some contracts vehicles, you can make a lot of money. But if it's cost plus, firm fixed, cost plus, or time material, it doesn't matter.
Sure. So I got that. That makes sense. But for our project impact, I mean, we don't have a contract with you.
No. So we'll just say that you can get it done under budget or under time, whatever. That could be something, right? It could look good. But if you get it done under budget, or whatever, the issue may be you may not have work for the people working on your project. They may have to find someone to pay for them the rest of the time. So say an organization says, all right, you have this project is supposed to end in October. You finished 2 months early. Well, the company can say, well, we have nowhere to put them at. Why did you finish the work early?
Yeah, but we're not kicking our group members now.
I'm just saying this is something that could happen in the real
No, I
world.
get that, and I find the value there, but I mean, I understand that in a legitimate business case or something, if I'm working for a firm or.
But we could say if you do some early in this case, perhaps there
wouldn't
was-
hurt us to be early,
no, it wouldn't.
so what would be like? How do we kind of quantify that as an impact? Like, would it be a positive impact? Can we have that in this risk management thing?
No, you want negative
Right,
risk.
so that's my dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we take away that risk that.
Or maybe you could have it written up as maybe you missed a step or some steps were missed. Or something wasn't done fully. All right. It's like I tell my kids, all right, guys, wash the dishes. They're like, okay, Dad, don't worry. And then I'm like, it's a whole bowl, it's a whole like sink full of dishes. It's done in 5 minutes. Oh, Dad, I'm done. I'm like, no, there's no freaking way. I look at the dish, there's spots, there's still soap suds. I'm like, it's done ahead of time, obviously, but it's not done correctly. And so I would state something that it may not be done appropriately.
We could say that the group members complete the project under budget, but don't realize. Um, we do like serious delays or people say, yeah.
So one of the things is, one of the issues you may have is the implementation of various controls can break the database. So implementations of controls can break the functionality. So your database should function appropriately, but say, hey, you're trying to put security tags in there. The database no longer works. It breaks down. So that could be the other issue, is that the security can actually hinder the effectiveness or the availability of the system itself.
You can get rid of one of these. This one.
Let me walk next door and grab a soda.
We make them your controls. Great. But then we'll put for the impact and say, about. Yeah, what?
For the impact, can we go for the say that it brings the data. So instead of putting it,
So how should I word this now?
so last of it.
Okay.
That will be around the data.
Data number 3. This one?
The information, security information of the data.
So like he's saying, like let's say we
So what I understood was, so if it didn't access my folder, go back, change the folder, sorry.
yeah, well, I think that's part of it, but let's say like here, let's say we do like separation of duties or something. Let's say we implement separation of duties, but we accidentally don't allow anybody to access any of the data. You know, like we implemented it improperly. Like nobody's allowed to access the data, or maybe we try to implement like timestamps or the login attempts and it breaks the code and the database comes collapses or something like that. Okay, cool. Being database insecure. Oh yeah. Like, well, in order to test them, it could be like, if we don't test properly and we think it's good,
We don't do that, but the third party, you know, the test, we do the test.
I would still be tested.
After implementing the test, but there is no. Professional one. We do the testing, the field work, the third party, they may use another packet test and we can. That's the problem.
Okay. Oh, okay, I got you. So, test. Tested under other conditions. Oh, sorry. The data is not in one place. Yeah. Or if you implement controls on one database, we implement control on another database. And we don't put it together, then it won't be cohesive. Yeah.
Maybe and then the description of the only project creation to this I actually see after the I can do this in fact. This one, I get changed that also. That's okay.
Yeah, so we have to do the rest. Are you seeing? Oh, you're on the Zoom. Okay, cool. I'll share this with you guys. You guys can edit this stuff. Cool. This area. Oh, yeah. Could be timeline as well.
Hey, how you doing?
What are we saying?
Let me take a look. See what you got. Okay, and if you need more, there's a large power supply right here.
Okay. I think I'm okay.
All right, so we'll do this for about 10 more minutes, and then what we'll do is we will jump on the project plan. That is going to be a lot of work. So yeah, take 10 more minutes, we'll jump on the project plan and oh, there's a lot of choices. Life is about choices, my friend.
Yeah.
So technical obsolescence would be like, say you're using a particular technology, you're like, I'm going to use this implementation of the database, this technology. It's no longer supported.
Yeah.
However, you're using it because that's where your expertise is. A lot of times when you hire people, these people may be experts in a programming language, but that programming language may be outdated. Oh, you're an expert in C. Okay, now can you do C++ or can you do C#? Nope. Well, you need someone that understands that because it's not going to be longer used. Yeah. Or less and less, which will cause integration problems, interoperability problems, stuff like that. Well, just choose the one that, okay. Oh, yeah, that works. Okay, I see what you're doing now.
No good?
No, that's okay. So when you like, so like this, the first one says like, go to the red. No, hover over the red.
Oh,
There you go.
oh, okay. Oh, so what's gonna start happening that we realize that we need to do something about it? Somebody goes to the doctor. Wait for, yeah. So people get sick,
People test positive.
people test positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Remember, it's just a quick swipe these days.
I mean, or does it really help if people get sick? Wonder, like, what's gonna happen, no, so it's like, so for this one, our risk was, like, we get sick, like, that's like the risk, like, somebody could get sick. So what's gonna happen here, what's gonna happen in the course of the project that we realize, like, the risk happened, right? So like for this one, like failure to effectively test controls, what would happen for us to realize that we failed a test? Well, let's say we tested it, and somebody else tested it and they realized it didn't work, then we know we fucked up. Like that, I guess. Yeah. Database crashes or.
Yeah. But this was a- unable to write the code.
Hmm.
When you're unable to write the code,
Yeah.
but there is like,
Edit config file. Yeah. Somebody like. Feel like a thing, 4 weeks out, we still don't have it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
there's no rules.
oh, okay, yeah.
Coding will do it.
Okay. Maybe like project manager or something. Oh, well, I think that would probably be like the response strategy for defense. Like, yeah. So what's gonna happen? I realize that um, that's kind of this again. But progress goals, digital activity. Yeah.
No, we did see.
Yeah, but it's different.
We'll find you another two.
So we have a risk where like our data is corrupted or missing,
Mhm.
right? If the symptom, we feel like the symptom and the trigger might be similar.
So the symptom is
The data is not there, corrupted, right?
Mhm.
But would the trigger be like us finding that out? Or
maybe like some of the files are corrupted, right? Maybe there's a file corrupted or the file won't open or work or something like that.
isn't that the same as the symptom though?
Yeah, it's very similar. So I mean, so in this, it could be something in terms of that you don't have like a disaster recovery plan or a business continuity plan. So something like that, and then the symptom that you could start using other things to say, all right, well, um, no recovery, no business continuity plan in case something happens, right? And then this could be something like, file is messed up. One file, then many,
Did you change the risk?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have to edit the risk. Well, it's our risk is gonna be no contingency plan, and then our contingency plan is gonna be create one. I don't know if that's that.
So it could be like the rest could be like in the event, just write it different, like in the event of a disaster or a disaster or something catastrophic, the project comes to a halt.
I feel like that could be all of the risks.
But this would be related to basically the files, right? Something gets
The
corrupted.
project comes to a halt because of,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, lack of plan, backup. Or, something we have to choose.
We know that.
Yeah, no, it's, trigger would be data as well. Yeah. it could be, uh, Maybe like a user, able to access it, or no, like one. Part of the data is available, part of the data is not, or. They integrate with
You said the data integrated is corrupt? Okay.
Okay.
For the trigger.
So it could be like. Like, it could be like controls. Or, what we did that with something. That would be like one specific case though. Maybe. I think that's the right spot to let them. Yeah, maybe certain portions of the data are unavailable. Or-
Dish cases can, like, some of the dish cases can be,
Oh,
can be as you can.
yeah, that's true. Yes. So like, yeah, like it's not because it's corrupt, because we have one for that. It's like unable to access the data. We have a privileged account. We have to do it. We just, we don't. encrypt it.
We don't, we don't have an
Yeah, that could be it. Like we,
not having a.
yeah, yeah. I feel like it's one specific situation.
As long as that we didn't implement any encryption, so we didn't implement any encryption, we won't be able to the key.
Right.
Only.
Maybe we get, no, actually, maybe we had this for like the first time. And then maybe what you just said, like when you realize the files have been changed, that would be the trigger.
I could be the, five small,
Right.
we just need to accept it.
Yeah, if it happens, then we can do it. Yeah. It's like we can't really like, nobody goes anywhere.
I mean, so acceptance is like if the risk is like 80% or above, you accept it. Avoidance is like you can avoid the risk. If you guys are working with multiple groups, you can say, you know what, I'm going to transfer it, and you transfer it to another group. And so it's no longer a risk. For the program manager, it's still an issue because in the program level, they have the risk. But at least you guys won't have the risk. So you guys don't have the responsibility. So if they screw up, it's hey, we didn't have it, it's the other team. And then mitigation is the one that says, hey, we have a plan in place.
Or to treat them in medicine. What would be contingency?
It could be contingent on maybe another item being done. As you can say, yeah, well, we have this risk, but maybe it's contingent upon this other item happening, or these particular people not getting hired, or something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't think we're gonna. We do something about it. We just gotta do something. Very nice. Could be. Yeah, yeah, actually. I think for our situation, it would be to another member. Like for another project, we might do it like a insurance company or something. Or for us, we might transfer to. What do you think that would be accurate or no?
Another member.
So like if our risk is that a group member doesn't have expertise in SQL, right?
Transfer the
Transfer
task.
to another.
Correct.
This one we would have. Um, The only ones that I've ever seen are this one, after this one. Yeah. Cause we can do that beforehand, like we can make a schedule and stuff like that, right? Um. Like that's a similar thing, you just make a schedule beforehand. Right? Okay. Yeah, I guess we should just make a plan for backups and stuff, right? Wait, what? So like, the other one would be like, acceptance. We can't just accept that as loss, we need to do the project, avoidance. I don't think that'd be put here either. We can't just avoid not losing, like, loss. You know, avoidance. Avoiding the risk, yeah, which wouldn't really be applicable. So like acceptance would be like, okay, it can happen, whatever. Avoidance would be we do something to not do that thing, but like it's an accident, right? So I don't know if that would be. I don't know, actually, you might be right. Like, well, yeah, I was looking at the rest of it too.
Gotta figure out if it's mitigation for rust.
Yeah.
So could you explain it once again? I didn't get it.
Okay, so acceptance is when you accept a risk, right? If the risk has a likelihood of 80% or more, you accept it, right? It's gonna happen. It's reality. Transfer is risk. If you're working within teams, you could transfer that particular risk to another team. Say, all right, this other team's gonna have the risk. What I was saying is the program manager or the technical leads, they're gonna sit above the project. So they're gonna have all the risk no matter what. They just know that the risk is going to another team, and they got to make sure that team can handle the risk.
So from the point of view of the one person, it would be a transfer, from the point of view of the project manager, it would be an acceptance.
Yeah, well, they have to figure out how does it happen on the project level. So risk can get committed because they will communicate on the project level, like, oh, these are the risks, this is what we're doing, and stuff like that. Yeah. Sorry?
Yeah.
Ways to avoid it. So you could think about like, I'm going to avoid this risk by making sure that I have appropriate action in place where I don't have to worry about this risk at all. So if you're considering like I'm going to have an issue with maybe implementing a certain control, you need certain expertise, I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to already implement. I'm going to automatically go and hire somebody. I'm going to hire somebody, have it in here, so it's not a risk.
So what would be like that versus mitigation? Would be like after it happened, we stop it?
Correct.
Okay.
But the problem is with that creates a risk in itself because now you went to hire this outside personnel. They're going to be super expensive. And now you have the risk of going over your budget.
Okay. Maybe you're right with that other one.
What is the contingency?
Sorry?
Was avoidance, acceptance, and mitigation, transfer, and contingency. I've never actually heard of that in a risk management.
It's like having a backup or something like that.
Yeah. It could be something like that.
Maybe we do that for the.
That's the risk. The risk is, you don't have any backup.
Yeah, that's good. We're gonna avoid that one. Oh, this one we can do it. This one. I don't think that's necessarily gonna happen. If we say that's definitely gonna happen, that's we fail, then we saying we're definitely gonna fail. I don't want there to be an 80% chance that we fail to
Can be a
test them.
word.
Yeah. Oh no, maybe that could be mitigated. Oh no. I think avoidance is do something before it happens so that it doesn't happen. I think mitigation is we do something when it happens. Right.
Okay.
Purpose one. Yeah, that would have to be. So we wouldn't say like we make sure everything is the same thing from the beginning, so that we're not working at separate places. Right.
The risk is, having the data in two different systems. When you mitigate the project, when it is triggered, you need to prove something like that.
So if we could
If you're
say.
trying to avoid it, then it's not gonna be a risk. Right?
Well, yeah, but, so, I think we've identified the possible risks, and now we're gonna do that, we're gonna start at the beginning and say. Instead of having everything in separate places, we're just gonna do it in one database, so that would be avoiding. I think mitigation would be like. If we got to the point where it was in separate places and we realized it wasn't together, we change the format of one of them so that we can put them together. Right? Would have to be mitigated.
You cannot avoid it because we don't know which code is gonna like.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something.
This one should be avoided. We wanna make a plan before. Right? This one. Either avoidance or mitigation. We should just do it at the beginning.
The back data base cache we can have a container, having a continuous this to the data.
For this one?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, yeah, yeah, we can do that.
The database cache we have continuous backup data, so.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. That's the relationship. We accepted this one, then do nothing.
Ensure that other than this.
Yeah. We get. Each of them, but they sort of what is it, for- Mm. Yeah, yeah, I guess.
Be the plan.
Professor, for this, this response thread we have, column, we're getting like a macro. That allows them to choose their choice, but the example, it's like a description of that state,
That's a mistake.
making sure that we do the right thing. Um, Where did that go?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because I clicked out of here, that's why. Whatever. All of these are formatted that way. Mhm. Yeah, these are regular,
Oh, okay.
these are not. This.
Is the data versus visualization? Important.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, usually. That's trying to do that.
Yep.
But no, I was.
He completed under budget, he forgot stuff, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So they're gonna be. Yeah.
Or
Why they failed.
other feedback from now. For each step of the.
We mitigated, so maybe we could like use,
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
we use the feedback to
Can we,
correct. like roll back the. You can just,
Back up.
well, I don't know if we don't necessarily need to roll it back. We, as we do it back up, we can just remove the security controls and then add them properly. Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right, check your email now. Check your email. Let me know if you got something.
Um. I just did.
All right, open it up and see how it looks.
How it looks.
Yeah, just take a look. Oh, let me pause it because I am recording. All right, so we're gonna do, I guess you could say the last haul or whatever. So let me do this. All right, perfect. Okay. So what you're gonna need now is a tool called Project Libre. So you need Project Libre. And this is basically the open source version of Microsoft Project. It's amazing. It's open source. You don't pay for anything. If you have Microsoft Project, fine. But this will work just as well. You'll go to download. That's interesting. And oh, here we go. So let's look at files. Debian version. The Debian file. Let this download. All right. So once it's download, you will just type this. Is that what's up?
Yeah.
It's okay. Friends back home or what? They're not asleep? Isn't it like early in the morning? Tell your friends like you're trying to work, make money, they should sleep. Oh, it's Saturday for them. No, it's Friday for them. They should be working. All right, so we'll just let it download. But when it downloads the CD desktop, sudo dpkg-i. We'll just wait for this to download. All right. So oh, no wonder it's not working out. I'm like, I guess Oh, I know why this. Just remove that and just work it like this then. I think I already had downloaded. Yeah, okay. So it installed and let me see something. Perfect, it is here. Okay. All right, so Project Libre is here. Project Libre, there we go. All right, so this is Project Libre. I'll say create project. Okay. And now I have something blank. So I got to think about a name, right? So I think about a name or different tasks. So let's say we think about WBS. This will be easier, right? So I'll say we think 1.0, we'll say project 2.0. Database design 3.0 testing. All right, so I'm gonna try something 1.0 projects. All right, so I'm creating some names. 1.0 project 2.0, calling it plus software and database design. Do 3.0 testing, just say testing. So I have this, right? So this is kind of what I have right now. However, I need to think about, well, what would go underneath project? So let me add items, right? So let me add some more. So I'm like, okay, well, 1.1, I need the project management plan. 1.2, EVMS. I need schedule. So let me add schedule. Okay, let me just copy this up here. So 1.3 schedule. All right, I will go like to 2, 3, and 4, and I'll indent. So I'll indent. And now these particular items fall underneath the project, right? So I can collapse. Well, yeah, collapse, expand. And then under testing, all the items that I need to test, I will put underneath here. Right? That's what I'll do. And I have predecessors, what needs to come first. I'll put resources. These are the people who are going to do stuff. So I would go like here, go to resources, and I would add names of everybody in my group. And that's what I would do. So what we're going to do is we're going to let someone share their screen, and we are going to build out. Oh, someone's yawning. We're going to build out your project plan. So I'm going to stop my share, and someone else can share. All right, who wants to share? You got many people in the room. I think we go to what, 9:30, 9:15? Huh?
Supposed to be 9:05.
Oh, is it? Oh shit, I'm sorry. I really thought we went to 9:15. Are you sure? It's not even 3 hours of lecture. You guys are getting ripped off. You talk to the school and tell them like, I'm paying for this, I want extra this. All right. We'll stop here then. And what we'll do, start working on your WBS. I will send out and create a presentation that goes to the WBS, and then we'll cover these other things, and then we'll start crafting these items in your group. Because once you do the project schedule, then you can do your EVMS. And then it's easy, right? And then after that, then you can start doing your work. Because the thing is, when you're doing a database design like this, the hardest things is planning. Once you plan everything out, then you can actually start working on design and stuff like that. When you appropriately plan, you'll save lots of money because you're like, I have this item, I implemented it, it's not working, I need to go all back to design. We'll go through and test everything beforehand. All right. So again, I will not see you guys next week. But I'll be in communication. And you guys enjoy. And did you guys like meeting like this? All right, we'll do this. Maybe next time you guys will bring food or order pizza. We'll make it an affair, all right? All right, I'll see you guys. You guys enjoy. Don't get robbed going home. I'm joking, but seriously.
Travel safe.
All right, thank you.